Hi, Alexandra. Let's take a look at this essay you have submitted, a set of essays rather. I see that you're aiming for 7 in your writing score, so let's see how we can help you do that. We've got international marketing. Let's see what you did. Some people view international marketing as a negative phenomenon which invades their domestic country, but for others it is quite the opposite, namely, comma, an opportunity of being exposed to different cultures, languages, and ideas. Okay, that's a nice start, but that's all this is. It's just a start because look at what it's asked you to do. There's a very clear question or command in every single IELTS essay. And what you need to do is you need to address that question or that command head on in your introduction. You didn't do that. It tells you to discuss both views, but it also says to give your opinion. All you did was just rephrase the topic, and that's it. So, what I want from you here is, in my opinion, I believe this. Or, in my opinion, while ABC is valid, on the whole, I believe XYZ is correct. Okay, do you get my point? So you could either do it 100% in favor of something, 60-40, 70-30, whatever, but you have to at least express to us what your viewpoint is. It says it. And if you look at the band descriptors for task achievement under band 7, I want you to look it up. It says presents a clear position throughout the response. Your answer to this is your position. Throughout means from the beginning to the end. So what do you need to do? What's one of the things you need to do to get a band 7? You need to make sure that your position is clear from the beginning to the end of your essay. All right, let's keep going. In this day and age, international marketing is ubiquitous and often overwhelming due to social media and an easy access, get rid of and easy access to the internet almost everywhere in the world. This means that one can get bombarded with foreign advertisements, you don't need a comma here, which have essentially nothing in common with one's domestic reality. Many rising businesses with limited experience focus on investing into widespread marketing and raising the awareness of their brand. At the same time, neglecting a thorough research, get rid of A here, neglecting thorough research of foreign economies they are aiming for. Such an approach results in aggressive looking advertisements irrelevant in terms of their content to what is going on in the distinct country. Take, for example, the political state of today's Ukraine and other countries waging war, and it can be easily seen that foreign marketing is not only superfluous, but could also defeat the purpose when the country's economy focuses elsewhere. All right, I see some really nice writing here. Really good grammar, really good vocabulary. I think you did a lovely job. Um, I question how focused it was on the task, though. Why is this considered an invasion and an intrusion? Okay, so let's look at what you said. Nothing in common with the country's domestic reality. So, how do people feel about that? What does that make? Why would this make them feel like this is an invasion or an intrusion? Okay. Um, they neglect thorough research. Okay. So, what does that mean? Why do I, as citizen of a country, feel that this is invasive and intrusive? Okay. Um, So I feel like you kind of touched on the subject, but you didn't really grab it and focus on it as closely as I wanted. Okay. So you have to remember it's not just why it might be kind of, oh, what's the word I want? Tone deaf. Okay. So it's not just why international marketing might appear tone deaf, but why the people on the receiving end feel like it's invasive and intrusive. Okay. You need to go a step further and show us why. On the other hand, marketing that reaches outside of the brand's domestic audience might spark new ideas in that foreign land. Nope, we don't use even though like this. You don't put a comma after it. Even though the content might seem to be presently irrelevant, comma, here. It can help spreading ideas which can come in handy in the future. As it often happens, the beginnings of the enormous enterprises start with inconspicuous and strange ideas, and they might come from international marketing. Sometimes the foreign products are not well adjusted to the domestic conditions, but can serve as an inspiration and open new perspectives for local entrepreneurs. Okay, again, really nice writing, but I wanted to see more support. I feel like you're talking about this very theoretically, but you're not giving us any support. There's nothing tangible. There's no examples. Okay. So you said that it might come in handy in the future. Oh, really? How? And then you said they start with something inconspicuous and strange, but you didn't give us a tangible example. Give me an example. Tell me of a product that helps spread ideas. Tell me of some sort of explanation or further detail as to how it helps spread culture. Okay. So it's nice, but it doesn't develop as fully or targeted as it needs to. In my opinion, the benefits of international marketing outweigh its downsides. We don't use even though like this, no comma. Even though it might look irrelevant and aggressive, comma, it can broaden horizons of the local population, propel great ideas, and lead economies into abundance. Moreover, it cannot be eliminated entirely, so it is better to focus on its benefits rather than, with an A, trying to eradicate it because this might be tilting at windmills. Okay. So again, I liked this in many ways. I thought there was a lot of good stuff to it, but I can see why it might have gotten a 6.5 because of the issues that I talked about. It wasn't focused, okay, as close as it needed to be. You didn't include your position here, so I essentially didn't know your position until I got to your conclusion, okay, which is an issue. And then the other issues that I talked about here, okay, about it, why is it invasive and intrusive? So I want you to focus on those things. Let's take a look now at your task one. All right, let's take a look at your task one. It's usually helpful if you can include the image. It's fine though. This helped too. It's just good if I can have it on the same page so I can refer to it. All right. The bar chart shows predictions for sites of London, Paris, Madrid, and Istanbul by inhabitants of 3 different countries. Okay, this predictions for visits. No, for visits to London, Paris, Madrid, and Istanbul by inhabitants of 3 different countries. Okay, fine. Overall, it can be seen that the highest amount of people traveling to 3 of these cities come from the USA, with Istanbul being an exception, as this city is expected to be visited mostly by Canadians. Okay, let me see. Oops. So, let me see. London. Okay, fine. Okay, all right. You could have maybe made this a little simpler. Let me look at it again. So overall, it can be seen that the highest amount of people traveling to the cities in question come from the U.S. Uh, with the only exception Canada. I don't know. You know what's weird? It's like you go from 3 of the cities, then the US, and then Istanbul, but we don't know what the other 3 cities are. So, I mean, we do. You talk about it here. There was just something that felt kind of confusing. I wanted it to be a little cleaner. I'm trying to come up with a way that I think would have done that while still trying to retain what you're trying to express. Let me try this. It can be seen that the highest number of people traveling to these cities come from the USA, period. The only exception was Istanbul, um, which was expected to be visited primarily by Canadians. I don't know. I'm just trying to clean it up. That's my goal here. I don't feel like I did a great job of it, even though I'm trying. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. I hope you understand what I'm trying to accomplish. Let's see. The bar chart shows that Paris is expected to be visited by 100,000 people from the USA, which would constitute the most popular city among inhabitants of this country. Okay. The city that comes just after is London, with the expected 80,000 visitors that year. Madrid is likely to be seen by approximately 70,000 people, and Istanbul takes last place with 60,000 visitors expected from the USA itself. Okay, the USA. The most popular city destination for Canadians will be was London because it's 2018, it's now 2023, which interestingly enough uh, was the least favorite place to visit among Mexicans, along with Istanbul. Each of these cities most probably will be visited by only 20,000 people in 2018. Okay, I really feel like there's not, I feel like you missed a lot of information. I feel like you focused really heavily on the US and then not enough on anything else. So I want to look back at the chart. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so essentially you've got 12 pieces of information. And as far as I'm concerned, I kind of feel like you should cover all of them. So let me tell you what I probably would have done here. Me personally, I would have said that, is it thousands? Yeah, it's thousands. Okay. So the USA had the highest number of visitors overall, you could say. Um, with 100,000 people expected to visit Paris that year. This was the highest figure on the chart. You want to mention that. The fewest American visitors planned to visit Istanbul at only 60,000. Okay. And then you can lump these two together. You could say that roughly 70 and 80,000 visitors from the US planned to visit Madrid and London respectively. Okay, and then you're done. In contrast to the US, and this way you make a nice link here, Istanbul was the most popular destination for Canadians at 70,000. The remaining cities were planned to be visited by between 30 and 50,000 visitors. And that's it. See how easy that it is? You just gave a range here. You didn't talk about them specifically. You didn't really need to. Okay? And then you could say for Mexican travelers, Madrid was the most popular destination at just over 60, you could say 65,000. The remaining cities were all planned to be visited by less than 30,000 travelers. And then that's it. Okay, so that's how I would do this. Yes, I focus quite a bit here. I focus on the main thing here because there is such a difference. I think that's one way to do it. Is it the only way? No, of course not. There are lots of different ways. But for me, it's a way that's really clean, that it reads easily, and that the reader can kind of visualize the information without having too much to process. So that's how I would suggest it. Give it a try, see if it works for you. Okay? So I think you're doing a good job. I like a lot of what I saw, but I do think that there's some room for you to improve a little bit. I hope my suggestions are helpful. I'd love to continue working with you. I'd love to have you do the essay correction packages. So if you found this feedback helpful, we can continue working together and I can help give you feedback and help you improve your writing so you can get to that score you need, okay? So hopefully we'll see more essays from you. I'm looking forward to it and I want to wish you tons of luck.